The world's first AI-generated government minister has addressed the Parliament of Albania. The avatar, named Diella, was appointed last week by Albania's Prime Minister to oversee decisions on public tenders and make them corruption-free. However, it remains unclear who wrote the code that controls it. The AI-powered virtual assistant was launched in January to help Albanians with public services and digital documents. Speaking during an address to Parliament, Diella appeared as a woman in traditional Albanian dress and defended its role, saying it will help people, not replace them.
I am not here to replace people, but to assist them. Truly, I do not have citizenship, nor do I have any personal ambition or interests. I only have data, a thirst for knowledge, and algorithms dedicated to serving citizens impartially, transparently, and tirelessly.
Well, for more on this, we're joined by Professor Jeannie Paterson from the University of Melbourne's Centre for AI and Ethics. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
It's a pleasure.
So Diella began life as a virtual assistant, helping Albanians navigate government databases. She's had quite the promotion and an upgrade. Can you just, first of all, explain the concept of an AI minister? How is this technology designed to work?
Well, she's not an AI minister. She's a chatbot, probably combined with what we call retrieval augmented generation, or a RAG, which means the chatbot at the top takes an instruction from a human, interprets that, finds the document they need, brings it back, summarises it, and makes it available to the human who's done the prompt in the first place. And we see this kind of technology all over the place. It's used in law firms, it's used for mental health bots, it's probably used in many governments to help retrieve information. But it's not a sentient being, and it certainly has no independent will of its own.
So do you see this as a genuine attempt at improved governance in Albania, or is it more of a way for the government to claim they're doing something to address corruption or that they're on the cutting edge of new technology?
Look, I think it's useful for governments to use AI. Governments can use AI to reflect on their own performance, and they can use AI to retrieve documents. But this application is a gimmick. And what I particularly dislike is that it's personified. The AI is made to look like a person. It's given a personality, it's given a name. And I think that's really problematic because it suggests to those who are interacting with the technology that it's in some way sentient, that it maybe has superhuman intelligence, and that it can do more than it actually is doing. At the end of the day, it's only as good as the person who programmed it and the data available to it.
Diella has been put in charge of procurement, which is an area notoriously rife with corruption. The government has mounted this argument that she will do the job, a better job, because she won't be accepting bribes, she won't be politically influenced, she doesn't need a salary, she doesn't need an off day, she doesn't even need any sleep. What do you say to that?
Well, first thing I'd say is it's not a she, it's an it. It's not alive, it's not a thing. It's a tool that's under the control of the government. So the government may still accept bribes, the government may still favour friends and cronies, the government may still be corrupt, or it may not. But it, the AI, is simply a thing. Now, you can imagine that you may use an AI to check off that tenders comply with the procurement guidelines. You could use an AI to check that people who are applying for tenders don't have relationships with the government and in that sense are objective. But at the end of the day, it's an it.
Every other conversation I have these days seems to be about AI. There is no way of avoiding it. It will inevitably become a bigger and bigger part of our lives. No doubt that will include in our governance. AI ministers, you're saying at the moment at least, are not the answer. How do we do it well?
Well, we do it well through good design and thinking what outputs we want to get. So, of course, it's useful to use technology to improve the performance of government. It's a really good thing to do. But the first thing to do is not to call AI a person or pretend it's a person. It's a technology. it's a tool. We can design a tool that can help us retrieve documents, understand policy, even monitor how well the government's going in meeting its election promises, for example. All of those things can be done, but it needs to be sitting under an oversight mechanisms that does the sort of things I said, test the performance of the tool and then improve it according to that ongoing testing. Now, the government has something in place to do that. We have this thing called the Voluntary AI Safety Standard, which is a way of providing good governance for AI, and the federal government in Australia is using AI in its operations, and hopefully it's complying with that safety standard to make sure the use of AI is accountable.
Professor Jeannie Paterson from the University of Melbourne's Centre for AI and Ethics. We'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much. Fascinating to get your insights.
Total pleasure.